Wow, this is the kind of orchestral song I was looking for. Obviously, I'm talking about Neenga Mudiyuma from Psycho Mysskin's movie. This is the second song from that film. They just released it yesterday, and wow, what a song! So, before I start, like I said in my unna, nenachu review, two disclaimers. The first one, I'm nobody to review Ilayaraja sir's music, nobody has the authority, but just as a fan, as a music lover, I want to talk certain things about this song. And the second thing is that many people might think why I'm not doing this in Tamil, because I want this video and this music to reach out to a larger, wider audience. I just repeat that in Tamil once. Tamil தெரியாதுன்னு இல்லை, தமிழில் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு இல்லை, பட் இது தமிழ் பேசாத ஜனங்களுக்கும் இது போய் சேரணும். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கும் இந்த மியூசிக் கேட்குறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் கிடைக்கணும். இதெல்லாம் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து கொண்டாடணும் கைண்ட் ஆஃப். ஏன்னா இல்லைன்னா அதே மாதிரி மியூசிக் தான் வந்துட்டுருக்கு. ஸோ அதை பீட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இது எல்லாட்டையும் போய் சேரணுங்கிறதுக்காக நான் இதை இங்கிலீஷில் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கேன். ஸோ that's pretty much it about that. And now let's get right into the review. I'll split this review into three parts. The first part being lyrics, the second part being composition and singing, and the third part, and my favorite part, being the production and arrangement of the song. Okay, so let's get into the lyrics. The lyrics here are very conversational, as the first one, as Unna Nenachu as well. It's directly addressed to the beloved or the heroine in the film. And the way the lyrics are being done here, it's pretty evident that they want us to be a bit confused whether she's not in the hero's life or if she's dead. And that works out very well. But I think there are a couple of lines like where he says now unna paatha pin kanmuduven, which is pretty much alluding to life after death, and we all know Mysskin loves those sort of things. The rest of the lyrics are pretty straightforward, very effective, very emotional, never melodramatic, but very very effective. But there's nothing like exceptional about them, but they do their job and they are precise and to the point. Now let's talk about singing and composition. Singing here again is not very Sid Sriram like. He's not back to his usual self. But in this song, he sounds a bit more open than Unna Nenachu, and he has some of his usual nuances and flourishes here, but still a very contained, restrained, and precise kind of a performance. Now let's talk about the composition itself. What is very interesting for me to note here is that this is not a typical Ilayaraja composition, because we know that he's a master of counter melodies and counterpoint. Whole album of How to Name It was an experiment with counterpoint, right? Where he had taken Indian melodies, Indian classical ragas, and put a Western orchestral kind of orchestration underneath it. But here it doesn't sound like that. Instead, how this entire piece sounds is that if you wrote a movement for a symphony, like a first or a second movement, and then you remove the solo instrument and put a voice in there, that's exactly how this sounds. So, for example, imagine that a violin, a solo violin or a solo piano was playing the melody that Sid Sriram was singing. It would still fit, it would still be apt, and it would still be perfect. But he has extracted that kind of a performance from an artist, which is just a brilliant thing to do. And also, if you notice, the way the melody is structured with a certain long notes and not a lot of Indian style gamaks or flourishes, it is very evident that that's what the effort was, and they have pulled it off brilliantly. Okay, now let's go to my favorite part, the orchestration and the arrangement. It is absolutely brilliant, but it's not surprising because it's coming from Ilayaraja sir, that this entire piece is orchestral, right? There are no non-orchestral or synthetic or electronic instruments even, because even in Unna Nenachu you had certain riser effects, you had certain pads. For that ambient sound you had certain electronics, but here you have none of that. Absolutely none of that. Okay, so the main bed of the composition, or like a rhythm section, if this was a normal pop song, you would have a drum, bass, and guitar, and that function here is fulfilled by the string section itself. So if you see, I am sure they are what we hear are the violas. And if there are people who don't know what a string section consists of, so it is violins, violas, cellos, and double basses. Apart from a layer of violin and violas in the rhythm section, you also hear a double bass. And what is beautiful about double basses here is that you don't hear them at once. They play alternate notes, and those bass notes are panned. By panning, I mean you hear one note in one ear and you hear the other note in the other ear. So the mixing also adds a lot to this composition. The way it has been mixed and the way it has been mastered, it doesn't try to interfere with the arrangement but tries to lift it up subtly and makes it very effective. Some people might argue that there is a guitar here, so how is it orchestral? But it is still orchestral because it is played like a classical guitar. So there are certain patterns and arpeggios, but they are not like pop guitar or rock guitar or any other kind of guitar. It sounds like classical music and sounds pretty orchestral and pretty authentic. Now the most interesting part of this entire song, as you might have already guessed, there is no drum groove. There is not even orchestral drums. There is nothing from the so-called rhythm instruments or percussion instrument. There is just one tiny instrument. If you have ever noticed, there is a triangle that they play like this. You can hear that throughout the song. That's the only percussion instrument in the entire song. And apart from that, it's all strings. I think I heard a flute, like an orchestral flute in one or two places, but that's all. And even the violins have been used in such a beautiful way that some of them are used as a part of the rhythm, as the rhythm which plays throughout the song, mostly through the mukhra or the pallavi, and the rest have been used towards the end to mimic what the singer is doing. So if Sid Sriram is doing a line, the upper violins are doing the same line, and that just gives it a beautiful effect and helps it transition from one section to another. But there's only one percussion instrument, and it's that tiny triangle, and it creates such a beautiful effect. Finally, I want to say that I'm so happy that this video is trending. I'm so happy that people are latching on to good music, they're owning it. But I'm just worried that this is not a trend thing, it's not a passing thing. We have to do this continuously. Let's all get into good music, and so that in the future also we can expect good music, not just from Raja sir or Rahman or these big guys, but from everybody, and let's in general improve the taste. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you have anything at all to say to me, please leave those in the comment section down below. And if you want to watch music reviews, poetry reviews, and book reviews, I do all of them. Please subscribe to the channel. Help me grow. I need your support. Thank you very much.